Secrets unlocked. I can't believe I actually did it. My hands are trembling. Elara pressed her hands against the soft fabric of Maya's sweater. Maya took hold of Elara's hands, squeezing them reassuringly. Your hands are freezing more than anything else, Maya giggled, leaning in to kiss her cheek. Trust me, you've got this. You deserve that funding more than anyone else here. I don't know, though. Professor Everhart wasn't too encouraging last time we spoke, Elara replied, her voice rising with anxiety. What if I stuttered? What if something embarrassing happened? Do I have anything stuck in my teeth? Elara stood on her tiptoes and grinned, showing her teeth. There's nothing stuck in there. Remember that trip to the dentist last week? Maya gave her hands another supportive squeeze. This isn't like last time. You've prepared an amazing presentation, and there are even more students interested in joining your research. If Professor Everhart doesn't choose you, it would be the school's loss. Do you really think so? Elara asked, her eyes sparkling with hope. I know so, Maya replied, a wide smile spreading across her face. I have a great feeling about it. Maya gave Elara one last encouraging peck before wishing her luck for class. Though she wished she could stay and watch Elara teach her advanced astrophysics course, the younger students had a knack for creating chaos at the slightest opportunity. Some might say she was overqualified for her job as a custodian, often facing comments about her college degree. Sure, she couldn't solve complex equations like the professors or create life-saving concoctions in the lab, but that didn't make her any less knowledgeable. Maya had a whole different set of skills. How's life with your family? Maya asked her colleague, an older gentleman named Leo. His face showed the wear of the years, but his smile never wavered. They're doing well. Today, they're coming over for dinner, and my wife has been preparing all weekend, Leo replied enthusiastically as he cleaned up a spilled drink. Maya grabbed her cleaning supplies and joined him in the task. How delightful. It's been a while since everyone gathered, hasn't it? Leo nodded, allowing Maya to take the chance to suggest something. You should head home early. It's not often the whole family is together. Oh, I couldn't. My boss said no one could cover for me without overtime. Maya groaned at the thought of her irritating manager. It seemed like an eternity since she'd seen a good manager come through. I can cover your shift. He won't even notice. It's just my way of saying thanks for helping me out before, Leo urged, finally persuading her after a moment of deliberation. The day sped by, and soon, the students began to trickle out, leaving the newsroom buzzing in anticipation. Upstairs, in the depths of the physics department, Maya found herself in a familiar space, hoping to put her plan into action. After a thorough cleaning shift, she took her position at Professor Everhart's desk. What do we have here? Maya said to herself, sifting through his cluttered desk, hoping to find a valuable piece of information. Months ago, she had stumbled upon something unusual on his desk while doing her rounds. The next day, a lock had been installed on one of his desk drawers, seemingly a smart move, but Maya was clever as well. A locked drawer doesn't mean much when the key sits in plain sight. With confidence, Maya opened the drawer, unearthing the final component of her ingenious plan, needing only to make copies for her own purposes. Maya made sure to get an early start, giving Elara a good morning kiss before heading out. She settled into Professor Everhart's office with a cup of rich coffee that came straight out of the university's budget, sprinkling in a hint of high-class syrup borrowed from the break room stash. She sat back, savoring her work while waiting for the professor to arrive, which he did exactly 15 minutes late. Good morning, Professor Everhart. Sleep well? Maya beamed at him as he opened the door, her handiwork evident around the room. Why, what is this? Professor Everhart stuttered, his eyes widening at the sight of her displays. How did you get access to these? Why would you do this? Maya chuckled as he frantically peeled away the carefully arranged notes and photographs on the wall. Honestly, I wouldn't waste my energy if I were you. I already have copies saved and ready to hand over to HR. This is a violation of my privacy. You can't do this, he barked, his face turning red with panic. Maya wiped her arm on his blazer, dismissing his concerns. Unless I'm mistaken, I think your privacy issues aren't the primary concern here. If I were you, I'd keep evidence of indiscretions far from poorly locked drawers, Maya pointed out, pulling one of the notes off the wall and beginning to read when he jerked his arm to silence her. Fine. You win. What do you want? He demanded, his tone defeated. Maya allowed herself a satisfied smile while he caught his breath. I have two simple demands. First, I want to ensure that Alara receives the funding she rightfully deserves. Professor Everhart's face paled, panic replacing indignation. Is there a problem? Were you planning to withhold that funding? That is not your business. I beg to differ unless you're okay with a visit to HR. She turned, but before she could reach the door, he stopped her. All right. She can have the funding. Just tell me what else you want, he growled, resignation evident in his voice. I want $500. I have someone special to treat, and she deserves nothing but the best. Professor Everhart stared at Maya, incredulity written all over his face. $500? You can't be serious. Maya crossed her arms, her expression calm and determined. I am absolutely serious. This isn't a negotiation. Do you think I have that kind of money just lying around? This isn't personal funds, it's university budget. His voice trembled slightly, revealing a hint of unease. Funny how you seem willing to exploit university resources for your personal benefit, Maya shot back, waving a hand at the chaotic papers strewn about. But now that you're on the other end of the stick, suddenly you're reluctant to part with a little cash. This funding is tiny compared to the scope of the grants you've been managing, Professor. He raked a hand through his hair, frustration evident. I can't just hand you $500 out of nowhere. It's corrupt. And you know it. Maya shrugged, her confidence unwavering. Getting that funding for Alara is a much bigger concern than the legitimacy of our arrangement. Professor Everhart hesitated, his brow furrowing as he weighed his options. What if I report you for this? Maya chuckled lightly, shaking her head. Report me for what? For ensuring that worthy research gets the backing it deserves? Or for shining a light on your questionable habits? I think HR might find that far more interesting. Realizing he had no solid ground beneath him, he sighed, his shoulders slumping in resignation. Fine. I'll get you the money. But this is between us. No one else can know. Of course. Maya clapped her hands together, feigning cheerfulness. I'll be your best-kept secret as long as you adhere to our little agreement. I'll be waiting for the signed check by Friday. As she turned to leave, she heard him call after her. Maya. She looked back, a playful smirk dancing on her lips. Yes, Professor. I hope you know this isn't over. I won't forget this. Neither will I, Maya replied, her tone light but the underlying meaning clear. But neither will you forget that I have what you need to keep your career afloat. With that, she waved and walked out, leaving him to stew in his own thoughts. The rest of the day passed with an air of victory for Maya. She couldn't wait to share the good news with Alara. After her shift ended, she hurried to their usual cafe, a cozy spot with mismatched furniture and warm lighting. Alara was already seated at a window table, her textbooks open in front of her. How did it go? Alara asked, her voice filled with anticipation as soon as Maya entered. Fantastic. Maya grinned, slipping into the seat across from her. The funding? Alara's eyes widened. Consider it done. Professor Everhart didn't have a choice but to give it up, Maya replied, pride swelling in her chest. Alara's face lit up, the tension of the day slipping away. You did it. I knew you would. You're incredible. Maya blushed slightly but waved it off. It wasn't just me, it was all part of the plan. Now you can finally move forward with your research without worrying about finances. Seriously, I can't thank you enough, Alara said, her voice earnest. You really didn't have to go to such lengths. But I wanted to, Maya said, her gaze steady on Alara's sparkling eyes. You deserve this. You put in all the hard work, I just helped smooth the path. They chatted about Alara's plans for her research project, the excitement bubbling between them, illustrating the deep bond they shared. Between every laughter and hopeful conversation, Maya felt a sense of fulfillment that stretched beyond the thrill of victory. Later, as the sun dipped low, casting golden hues across the cafe, Alara took a sip of her drink and looked serious for a moment. Can I ask you something? Of course. Maya replied, tilting her head inquisitively. How did you get so confident? You always seem ready to stand up for what's right, even when it involves confronting someone like Professor Everhart. Maya smiled, the question warming her heart. I guess it comes from knowing what truly matters. Standing up for you, for your work, I'd do anything to see you succeed. Alara reached across the table, her fingers brushing against Maya's in a tender gesture. I wish I could be as brave. You've inspired me, you know. Maya's heart fluttered at the touch of Alara's fingers. You're braver than you think. All you need to do is believe in yourself as much as I believe in you. Alara smiled softly, the air between them thickening with unspoken emotions. Maya could sense it, a shared understanding, a connection that transcended friendship. As night descended and it was time to leave, Maya knew that their bond had shifted, becoming something richer and more profound. And while she hadn't planned for this to happen, she sensed that this journey together, one of adversity and triumph, was only just beginning. When they stood outside, Alara's eyes gleamed under the street lamps. Thank you again for everything. I'll make sure to celebrate this victory properly. Maya chuckled. Just remember, I like dessert. Deal. Alara promised, her cheeks flushed with excitement. As they parted ways, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the start of something incredible. With Alara's future looking bright and their friendship blossoming into something deeper, Maya felt ready to face whatever came next, hand in hand with the woman she admired most. As Maya walked home that evening, her mind buzzed with thoughts of Alara. The warmth of their shared moment lingered, casting a glow that illuminated the path ahead. With each step, she replayed their conversation in her mind, dissecting the nuances in Alara's voice, the playful glimmer in her eyes, and the moments when their hands almost intertwined. The following days were a whirlwind of excitement. Alara received confirmation of her funding, and the university celebrated her initiative with an announcement of an upcoming event where she would present her work. Maya was there every step of the way, a steadfast presence, cheering her on, helping to prepare her presentation, and even borrowing a projector for her to use. On the day of the presentation, the auditorium buzzed with energy, and Maya could feel her heart racing as they stood backstage. Alara looked radiant, her nervousness under control, thanks in part to Maya's calming presence. You've got this. Just remember all the hard work you've put in, Maya encouraged, placing her hand gently on Alara's shoulder. I couldn't have done it without you, Alara said, giving her a quick, grateful smile. As Alara stepped onto the stage, the audience quieted, and Maya held her breath, watching in awe as Alara commanded the room with poise and confidence. Half an hour later, the applause rang in Maya's ears, the crowd buzzing with enthusiasm, and she felt the rush of pride swell within her. When Alara stepped off the stage, a triumphant grin graced her face, her cheeks flushed with exhilaration. I did it! Alara exclaimed, throwing her arms around Maya as she pulled her into a tight embrace. You were brilliant. I knew you had it in you. Maya beamed, feeling the warmth radiate off Alara. As they celebrated with friends and colleagues, Maya could not ignore the deepening connection between them. Every glance, every shared laugh seemed to bring them closer, a subtle shift suggesting they were standing on the brink of something new, something profound. Later in the evening, when the crowd began to thin out, Maya and Alara found themselves in a quieter corner of the venue. The lights dimmed slightly, creating an intimate atmosphere. Can we talk? Alara asked, her voice soft yet firm, the light dimming around them amplifying the moment's sincerity. Of course, Maya replied, her heart racing. Listen, I've been thinking a lot about our interactions lately. You've always believed in me, even when I doubted myself. I want you to know how much that means to me, Alara began, her eyes locking onto Maya's, earnest and open. I'll always believe in you. You have so much talent and potential, Maya urged, the words flowing out instinctively, heartened by Alara's trust. I'm not just talking about academia, Alara said, her voice trembling slightly. I've realized that you mean so much more to me than just a friend. You've changed my life. She paused, collecting her thoughts. I care about you, Maya. More than I ever thought I could. Maya's breath hitched, her heart racing with a mix of hope and fear. I care about you too, Alara. You mean everything to me. Alara stepped a little closer, their bodies mere inches apart, her breath warm against Maya's skin. So, what if we could explore this together? Us? Maya's heart soared at the prospect, and she could see the same hope reflected in Alara's eyes. I would love that, more than anything, she whispered in reply. With a smile that lit up her entire face, Alara closed the distance between them, leaning in, and Maya instinctively tilted her head, their lips meeting in a soft, tentative kiss. Moments felt like hours as they cherished the connection, the world around them fading into a distant hum. Finally, they pulled back, a few centimeters apart, eyes shining with unspoken emotions. I've wanted that for so long, and I can't believe we're finally here, Alara whispered, her cheeks flushed with joy. Maya smiled, her heart swollen with happiness. Neither can I. It feels like everything has fallen into place. As the night deepened, they remained close, exchanging sweet words and laughter, each secret shared further solidifying their bond. In the weeks that followed, their relationship blossomed naturally, built on a foundation of trust and mutual respect. They celebrated Alara's achievements, chased dreams together, and navigated challenges side by side, learning and growing as partners. One sunny afternoon, while they strolled through the campus park, hand in hand, Maya stopped and turned to Alara, a serious yet playful expression crossing her face. What if we made a pact, she suggested. A pact? Alara inquired, intrigued. Let's promise to support each other, no matter what. In our careers, our dreams, and whatever life throws at us. Whatever comes next, we're in it together. Alara smiled warmly, squeezing Maya's hand. I love that idea. I promise to support you, no matter what. Maya's heart swelled as she leaned in and kissed Alara gently on the forehead. Together, they faced the horizon that stretched before them, filled with uncertainty but also endless possibilities and adventures waiting to be explored. Their love anchored them, strong and unwavering, as they stepped forward into their future, two hearts intertwined, ready to conquer the world together. The journey was just beginning, and each moment shared would only forge their bond deeper, leading them toward a life rich with love, laughter, and dreams fulfilled.